What's going on, everybody? Big Starfield update is actually working its way down the pipe to all of us very, very, very soon. It's not out quite yet. Let me make this bigger because I am blind. Let's talk a little bit about it. It was announced today on the official Bethesda Twitter. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more stuff. I can't believe I have to say this, but you know what? It actually works. When I ask you guys to subscribe and I beg, you do. And it works. So I appreciate all your support. Keep up the great work. The channel will continue to grow. My ego will inflate. Life will be good. I did 2 other videos, by the way, on Starfield. One about the horrible open world design and one about Starfield could actually be a fun game. If you haven't had a chance to check those out, those are also great to go and refresh what I think about the game so far. If you don't have time for those, I did not beat it. As a matter of fact, I haven't really talked much about Starfield since it launched. I think I played it about 8 or 9 hours. It never grabbed me. There were too many issues with it. And while I saw that the bones of the game were good, the moment-to-moment interactions were frustrating, and the fact that it didn't have very good console support really turned me off personally. And hopefully, this Starfield update 1.1.33 hopes to fix all that. Does it? Well, we won't know quite yet. It is available in the PTR. However, it's going to make its way out to the world later on this month. So unless you're one of those like Xbox insider dudes and you're constantly downloading the latest and greatest kind of patches and Xbox first and whatever all they call that stuff, I won't be able to tell. And I suspect a lot of people are just going to have to wait in terms of the console updates. But let's go ahead and talk about the things they did. Now, they also released like a 7-minute video or so. Very, very full of fluff. Let's kind of not worry about that. I'm going to talk more than that. But the reason why I don't want you to focus on that too much is because you have me. And I don't think they really do a good job of explaining why the changes needed to be made other than due to player feedback. But again, here we are designing a Bethesda game. Here we are helping Bethesda realize their vision, and it's okay. We've done this before, and I guess we're going to just do it again. First thing they've done is they have improved the surface maps. So now when you go into a big city or a big town, you can actually see where the hell you're going. Additionally, you can open up your kind of combat mode, and you can see the icons of everything in the horizon, all the stores, everything. So you can quickly navigate to the places you want to go. This was such an insane oversight that major towns relied on the infrastructure of the game, the signs, the ambiance to kind of guide you where to go. The problem was the directions weren't always the best. And as much as I love an immersive game that doesn't hold your hand, the reality is a lot of people don't like that. And they want to be told exactly where to go. They want their Skyrim arrow. They don't want to have to think about where to go sell stuff in a village. They just want to walk up to a vendor and be done with it. So they've fixed that. The maps have been completely overhauled. Additionally, when you're zooming out in an area, the entire map now has a much better look to it as well. So I think that's a good change. They've added a bunch of new gameplay options. Now, right now, a lot of people like me probably abandoned the game. They did not finish their playthrough. So they talk a lot about what New Game Plus could bring with some new abilities to kind of reset your character and to change some of that stuff there. Nobody cares. I mean, like maybe 5% of the audience is there. Most of us, myself included, just dropped off because the gameplay was okay, but it wasn't the best. Well, they fixed a lot of that. There are now individual settings for how much gold a vendor has, how much health an enemy has, how much ship damage you take. All of these tweaks are modifiers. This is ripped exactly from the Forza Horizon series and the regular Forza Motorsport series, where depending on the number of driving assists you had would give you more points. If you wanted the brake line, if you wanted it to help you shift, if it wanted it to not have tire damage or realistic car damage, you'd get more points at the end. This is the exact same thing. This is something that's really good. I haven't seen this a lot in other games, and I'm glad that Microsoft as a whole is kind of starting to plagiarize from itself. This is exactly what they needed to do. So now, when you're playing, if the gun combat's a little too easy for you, dial it up and be rewarded for it. Or if you just kind of want to have a nice casual experience, turn it down a little bit, but you'll pay for that. You won't get as much money or treasure or whatever you want, which is a really, really phenomenal idea. You're going to be able to customize the game the way you want. I love this. I want to see more of this. This absolutely falls under that idea of accessibility, which we saw start to trickle in on The Last of Us, but now it actually has tangible rewards in the game. Very, very, very smart. They've also taken a hard look at how ship decoration works, that you can not just decorate outposts, but you can decorate your ships. You can rip furniture out, put your own furniture in, move stations around. They're going to give you new tools in the game that allow you to start with a complete blank canvas to allow you to navigate and move all the pieces of furniture around in your ship. That is a great idea. This is exactly what Fallout 4 had really laid the bones to. We saw a significant improvement in Fallout 76, and yet when we get to Starfield, they took a lot of that away. They took a lot of it away from the ship. Instead, they put an outpost. Where do you spend most of your time? That's the great question. Probably the ships. So why not finally give you that customization? Very, very simple but effective change, building off the legacy of what a Bethesda kind of home builder game is. They've also added tabs to container menus, which will manage your inventory even easier. In a game like this, you get tons of junk. Think about when you played Skyrim and you're sifting through pages after pages of gear trying to find the thing that you want. Sometimes there were tabs for like weapons or potions or spells or lore, which did kind of help slowly start to truncate that. But we never really had this system in place. I'm hoping this alleviates a lot of concerns people have had, and no more having to download mods to do this for you if it's baked into the core experience, which is very, very good. They've also changed the dialogue camera. Now, Bethesda has been known in the past to use the exact same camera where they zoom in on a character talking, and it looks very jarring. Think of the contrast to a game like God of War, where the original game had no jump cuts in it. It was smooth transition throughout the entire experience, and how amazing that was. Here, the game would constantly jump from character to character, conversation to conversation, and it would get you nauseous. They've now allowed you to just pan out and have a more cinematic view. Again, a very simple change, but one that in a game where you're talking to tons of people in an RPG and getting quests and side quests and companions and all these sorts of things, wouldn't it make sense to have this at launch? I mean, yes, but finally they came around. And probably the one that everyone, myself included, the reason I will go back to this game and try it one more time. They are going to add in new settings in the Xbox Series X to allow you to prioritize between visuals or performance, which means you can have the standard 30 frame per second mode, which looks like ass, or you can now opt in for a slightly reduced fidelity 60 frame per second mode, which is what everybody wants. We always have wanted 60 frames per second. Why this was taken away from us at launch is beyond me, but they finally figured out a way, just like every other game company in the planet, to figure out how to give us a nice 60 frame per second experience. Additionally, there is a 40 frame per second mode that seemed like it was kind of teased in the video. I'll do a video at some point in the future because I don't think a lot of people understand why 40 frames per second is actually a good thing, because it sounds like it's worse than 45 frames per second or 60. It's actually a really nice medium, which is great. Additionally, if your television supports variable refresh rate, something that the Xbox Series X has really been touting as a champion that they don't use often, this game will take full advantage of that, which should give you an even smoother experience. That is the whole reason I am trying this again. If all of these other updates were done solely on PC, I wouldn't care. The fact that you're going to allow me to play a game in the comfort of my super fancy couch, in the comfort of a 120 hertz high definition resolution Dolby system, oh, I'm in. I'm 100% in. So I will absolutely have more to talk about after I've gotten my chance to play this, although we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. There's a ton of other patch notes and stuff down in here as well, where they get into some of the bug fixes and some of the gameplay improvements. There's a lot. They said there's more coming, a lot of graphics modes, a lot of issues like that. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all this because a lot of this doesn't really matter. I mean, they even break down specific quests. Like, hey, on this specific quest, there's an issue where this happened or whatever. Like, you know, the people who are really into the game probably care about that. I suspect a majority of us are going to be Xbox players who are dying to try out the new graphics stuff. And then I suspect the remainder are going to be people who are interested in maybe tweaking the difficulty, going back to the shipbuilding and having fun there. So all in all, this is a big win, I think. I don't know yet. I haven't played it. But I think this is a big win for the gamer. I'm glad that Bethesda did not give up on this game. I think it's a cool idea, but poor execution. And I'm hoping that now it will be a cool idea with cool execution. When it comes out, I will be back to talk about it. And since you subscribe to my channel, you'll know exactly what I think about it the second my video goes live. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.